Well, slurpy diddly do, my G's. How are you guys doing this morning? I have just been making a bit more jungle this morning just for fun because someone left a comment on my recent Amen Break and Sine Wave video saying that they really enjoyed it and that they wanted more of more jungle stuff. And, you know, I'm more of a Neurofunk producer by trade, but I love jungle music just as much, if not more, than Neurofunk, to be honest. I mean, I got into drum and bass through jungle music, and I've just never been... I've never released jungle tracks, you know. I always wanted to, like, make more current stuff. But anyway, I'm enjoying making a bit of jungle, don't get me wrong. So yeah, I thought I'd do a little bit of jungle today. I'm gonna give you just mainly like some compositional and arrangement ideas. I'm gonna play this loop in a second. But yeah, also guys, if you're on the channel and you love the content, come along and join my Discord as well, because we've got a daily chat in there. And yeah, it's much nicer to like be more connected and be able to talk in there. It does cost a little bit of money to join, but it's well worth it in terms of what you get, because you can get feedback on your own tracks. You can be part of the inner circle, like the absolute legends. And you don't have to be like an expert at music production to join us. All we ask is that you're kind, respectful, and adhere to the Discord rules. And yeah, but come along and join me in there, because I'd really appreciate it. Anyway, here's the little loop that I've made today. And I'm going to play it for you first, and then I'm going to give you a few sort of compositional and arrangement ideas. I really like this loop. And yeah, I probably spent about 45 minutes or 30 or 45 minutes making it this morning. I wanted to be a bit more selective about the sounds, so I didn't want to film the whole process because it would make for a really long video then. But basically I've used one of the breaks from the Khan tribute pack, because I love their breaks that they've sent out for free, because they're really good quality. And there's lots of different versions. So I've used the Hot Pants one today. And what I've done is I've used sort of like my favourite high quality fortified break for the main part. And then I've done little fills where I've used kind of the like lower quality one, you know? Or yeah, just like the version that's a bit narrower as well. And I've just slapped some extra reverb on those fills. So that's how I started the beat. It was just, yeah, using the break and chopping out some of the different tonality versions. You know, just keep, you know, I'm not saying like it's a finished composition. You know, this is just what I came up with in 30 or 40 minutes, you know. But yeah, next then, spoiler alert, I have used current for everything else, okay? So I know that a lot of people haven't got that synth yet. But I have. And I wanted to just explore the presets on it because they actually seem really sick. So I've used presets for all of this. The first thing I did was to create a bass hook, right? And I used a preset on there called Sunrise Crisp Keys, which has, yeah, really nice, like, organic, like kind of jungly bass sound, but it's also got a bit of an organic pluck and like some noise built into it already. So I haven't done any sound design today. I've just picked presets and I'm just doing arrangement stuff, you know. But how I programmed the bass in myself, I played it in. That was very important to get like a natural, you know, like a realistic groove that's off the beat, because I didn't quantize the recording. You know, I left a lot of the notes. Like mostly they're sort of a bit late, and then some of them are like a tiny bit early, but mostly it's like late, so it's a bit of a lazy bass line, you know. So my key is in D, and then I just have a couple of extra notes. I go up to a G sharp, I toy around with an F, and that's pretty much it. I think maybe, is there anything else over here different? No, G sharp F, I think on this, maybe on this last part. No, I think it's just those three notes that I use, but in different, yeah, with different melodies, you know. But but using those 3 notes essentially. So it sounds like this. So the last part just leaves a little gap for the fill. And yeah, the other part is sort of written in 4-bar as a 4-bar riff that repeats, you know. But yeah, I wrote it to the beat, obviously, so I could get a nice funky groove going on. Sounded quite nice and jungle to me, so I sort of yeah, left that as it was, and then I moved on to add like a really cool, like much wetter but still quite jungly sounding background synth. And for this one, it was also preset again, and this one was called the Juno Bug. And I sort of was just playing around with the octaves, with everything's at D still, and I was just sort of doing like an octave juggle between two octaves. So it sort of starts with the high D, like it doesn't start on the first beat, it's kind of on the off beats. And so it's like a high D and then a low one, and then occasionally I've splashed in like a higher pitch D as well at various points in the composition, just to give like a little burst of high-end energy. And I've reverbed all of that, especially the high note. I wanted it to feel a bit softer and go on for longer, so I've just slapped a quick reverb on everything. And then I've just also cut out all the low end, so the bass is a bit more power. So it's meant to be like a harmonic addition to the bass, essentially, you know. But the main bass is the prominent one doing the groove, and it's very sort of plucky and powerful, like stabby, you know. But this next addition is more like a background, like softer, almost more sustained kind of texture, you know. So they contrast each other quite nicely like that, you know. So it helps to add like a sense of depth, because the main bass is sort of more foreground and this extra synth is much more backgroundy, you know? So creating a nice sense of depth already. Then well, let's hear that with the beat, so that this is what we got so far. Oh, I've got to put that back in. I did put a little bit before the drop as well here. So this background one is kind of like a bit more jazzy with the random high notes, and it's filling out almost the gaps in between the main bass notes, you know, so filling out the background content in the areas where it's lacking. So that's what I did there. Then next I've just gone for a few like sort of one-shotty lead effects fills, you know, in different places, and they're all presets again. The first one I found, I think I've cut the low end out of most of these as well to make room for the bass. And yeah, well, I haven't bothered to do any mix down work yet, like any side chaining or, you know, proper EQing. I'm just doing like composition and arrangement for fun, you know. So this is the next sound I found, which was called the Despite Odds. Yeah, it just has a really nice like video gamey kind of sound effect, bit of a like SFX lead kind of thing, you know. Yeah, I really like the way it rings out for a while, and so it's perfect for like a one shot on the beat, and then it can kind of like tail out nicely over into the background, you know. So yeah, that sounded really nice right on the drop. And then I use it over here as I do like a lower octave version, which is a bit shorter, just because I needed a bit of texture in this gap, because there was like a bit of a gap in the composition. And then over here it repeats again. Okay, so it's helping build a bit of a starting a call and response pattern, and so now is kind of like the response parts. So again, I've just gone for another similar kind of like style of element, like a lead one shot kind of thing. But this time I've done 2 notes, and it's a double pluck, it's called, and it sounds really nice on its own. And so I've left it, I've composed it to leave it a bit, so it sort of feels a bit unfinished at the end. It sort of opens up and adds a bit of like an unexpected feeling. So because the root note is D, and then I go up to D sharp, so it's like a semitone higher, so it adds that like sort of unfinished, you know, tension, because I don't resolve back to the root note again. But that's quite nice in the whole context of the composition like this, you know. Okay, but it kind of resolves again with the high pitched note on this synth, you know, because that's you know, even though it's high up, it's back to the root note. It's like a D. So yeah, this little part just before the beat again, you know, it works well there because it's creating tension just before you get back to the beat, where things will then resolve in like the other elements, you know, because it's always about, you know, coming back to that root note like from somewhere else, you know. But yeah, so these plucks just serve to create the tension, and then the synth kind of resolves it. And then yeah, next then I've got another little one shot thing I found, which is called the Dreaming Ballerina. This is like yeah, this just has a really nice fast like trill, arpeggiated kind of trill. It's actually, yeah, as you can hear, it's a very wonderful glissando, trilling, arpeggiated bundle of joy. But I've just used it in a tiny spot because I didn't need so much overwhelming content, you know. But it would be nice to use it maybe as a longer part somewhere else in the tune. If I finish it, that is. What do you think? Do you think I should make it into a tune? Do you like it? Any feedback for me? But yeah, let's listen to it then with that part in as well again. Yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed that. I really, really like the way this sounds, and it was cool to explore some of the presets in Current, but also I hope that whether you use Current or whatever you use, I hope that some of the compositional and arrangement ideas that I've demonstrated here at least inspires you or gives you a little bit of a creative push in the right direction, because I think it's quite a nicely composed little beat, you know. But yeah, thanks a lot for watching, my G's. And again, yeah, I'd love it if you guys come along and join in Discord so we can chat further in there and between videos and stuff like that. It's a really lovely community of people, and yeah, it would just be awesome to have you in there, because there's only, yeah, YouTube is like a part of my you know, like journey into music production, but like having our like base of community members like within the Discord is really like a massive extension, or you know, from the channel, that's like really important to me. So yeah, if you guys ever want to join, absolutely more than welcome. Anyway, have a great rest of your day, my G's, and a great rest of your week. More from me very soon. Much love.